Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling something I bet you've seen before.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, while scrolling on social media or maybe in like a self-help book.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's that Ikigai Venn diagram.
Ah, yes. I know the
It
one.
looks so cool, right?
Yeah.
And it promises to help you find your purpose just by filling in a few circles.
Yeah, it seems almost too easy.
Right. So we're going beyond that pretty picture today.
Okay.
We're doing a deep dive into Ikigai
Awesome.
because it's more than just like a trendy word.
For sure.
It's this whole philosophy from Japanese culture.
ISO.
Think of it as like your reason for being.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to make daily life full of joy and purpose.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And to help us unpack all of this,
Yeah.
we have our expert here with us today.
Happy to be here.
They're amazing at explaining even the most complex ideas. So get ready
Well, I'll do my best.
for some serious aha moments.
It's a pleasure to be here, and you're
Yeah.
right. That Venn diagram, while super intriguing, is just a Western interpretation of Ikigai.
Okay.
It kind of gained popularity in the early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Good starting point for sure, but definitely not the whole story.
Exactly. And I know a lot of you have probably seen that diagram
Probably.
and maybe even tried to like fill it in.
I know, I have.
So today we're going to unpack its meaning
Okay.
and see how it might apply to your life.
Awesome.
But we're also going to explore the deeper, more traditional side of Ikigai,
Sounds good.
which goes way beyond just career and money.
Absolutely. So let's start with that Venn diagram.
Okay.
It breaks Ikigai down into 4 areas,
4.
represented by those overlapping circles.
Okay.
So first we've got what you love.
Mm-hmm.
These are those passions and interests that make you lose track of time completely.
Yeah.
Like, think about the things you could just do for hours,
Yeah.
and you'd still feel energized afterward.
It's like that feeling where you're so absorbed in something you forget to eat
Exactly.
or check your phone.
Okay, precisely. Then there's what the world needs.
Okay.
This one focuses on how you contribute to something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
Maybe addressing problems you care about,
Right.
or using your talents to make like a positive impact.
So making a difference, leaving the world a little better.
Exactly. The next circle is what you're good at.
Okay.
This is all about those talents and skills of yours. The things people often compliment you on,
Oh, yeah.
or that just seem to come naturally.
I guess this is recognizing our strengths.
Yes. And finally, there's what you can be paid for.
The money one.
This brings in the practical side,
Yeah.
acknowledging that we need to find ways to make our passions and skills financially sustainable.
Because, let's face it,
Yeah,
paying bills is a reality.
definitely.
But wouldn't it be awesome
Oh, yeah.
if those bills were paid by doing something we actually love?
The dream.
So the Western model suggests that Ikigai lies at the center where all 4 circles overlap.
Right. That central point represents that sweet spot
Okay.
where your passions and skills and mission
Yeah.
and vocation all come together.
Synergy.
You could call it that, yeah.
Synergy. I love that.
It's like all these different parts of you
Yeah.
clicking into place and working in perfect harmony.
But you mentioned earlier this model is an oversimplification.
I did.
So what's missing from this picture?
Well, this Western model, although helpful for self-reflection,
Yeah.
tends to focus too much on career and income.
Okay.
The traditional Japanese understanding of Ikigai isn't always so tied to work. It's more about finding joy and meaning in everyday life.
So not necessarily like your dream job,
Right.
but a life that just feels meaningful
love
and
that.
joyful no matter your job.
Exactly. A great example of this is Okinawa,
Okay.
an island in Japan often called the birthplace of Ikigai.
Really?
People there often describe Ikigai as the reason you get up in the morning.
I like that.
It's not about some huge pursuit. It's about finding joy in the small things, the simple act of living.
That's beautiful.
So does this mean the Western model, the Venn diagram, is wrong?
Well, is it?
It's not about being right or wrong.
I see.
The Venn diagram is a useful tool, don't get me wrong, but it's just one perspective.
Okay.
We need to broaden our view a bit to capture the full essence of Ikigai.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the Venn diagram,
Yeah.
which is a good visual starting point.
Yeah, good tool.
But we've heard it's just one piece of the puzzle,
It is.
ready to dive deeper.
Always.
Our expert mentioned some names earlier,
I did.
Meiko Kamiya and Ken Mogi,
Yeah.
who have looked at Ikigai in some fascinating ways.
Really interesting stuff.
So let's hear more about them
Okay, sounds good.
and their unique perspectives.
Yeah. So let's start with Meiko Kamiya.
Okay.
She was a Japanese psychiatrist
Okay.
who wrote this book called Ikigai Nitsui
Wow, what a title.
back in 1966,
1966.
long before Ikigai was a global buzzword.
Yeah, wow.
Her work is considered fundamental
Got-
to understanding the concept, especially its connection to well-being.
1966.
Yeah.
So she was exploring these ideas way before they hit the mainstream.
Way before.
What were some of her key insights?
Well, Kamiya really emphasized
Got her.
the importance of subjective well-being.
Subjective well-being.
Ikigai for her
Yeah.
wasn't about chasing these external goals
Okay.
or living up to other people's expectations.
I see.
It was about how you feel about your life,
Mm.
about finding that deep sense of contentment
Yeah.
and joy in everyday experiences.
So it's not about like outward achievement.
Not really, no.
It's about an inner sense of satisfaction.
Exactly.
It's about feeling good about your life,
Yeah.
no matter what other people might think or say.
Exactly. And she also highlighted
Yeah.
that Ikigai doesn't have to be this huge singular purpose
Right.
that like defines your whole existence.
It can be smaller, more everyday things.
It can be found in those small joys,
Mm-hmm.
the simple pleasures
Yeah.
that make up daily life.
This connects to what we heard about Okinawa.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's about enjoying those small moments,
Mhm.
those tiny sparks of joy
Yeah.
that we often overlook
It's easy to do.
in our busy lives.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to Ken Moge.
Okay.
He brings this neuroscientific perspective
Oh, wow.
to Ikigai.
He's an author and researcher.
Okay,
He's written a lot about the topic,
cool.
especially in his book, Awakening Your Ikigai.
Neuroscience and Ikigai.
I know, right?
That's
What an
interesting.
interesting combo.
What does he bring to the table?
So Mogi breaks down Ikigais
Okay.
into 5 pillars.
Okay.
Starting small, releasing yourself, harmony and sustainability, the joy of little things,
Lots to cover.
and being in the here and now.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack there.
We'll try our best.
What does he mean by starting small?
It's about recognizing that finding and living your Ikigai.
Isn't about these huge changes overnight
Okay.
or chasing some massive impossible goal.
It's more manageable.
It's about focusing on those small steps,
Okay.
tiny actions each day
Yeah.
that bring you closer to a life full of joy and purpose.
Building momentum.
Yeah,
Through consistent action.
exactly. And then there's releasing yourself.
Okay.
This one is all about letting go of those societal pressures,
Okay.
expectations that might be holding you back
Oh, yeah.
from pursuing what you really connect with.
Embracing your true self.
Yeah,
And giving yourself permission to chase your dreams.
that's a powerful message.
It is.
It's about silencing those inner critics
Yeah.
and those external voices
Yeah.
telling us we can't or shouldn't go for it.
Yeah, those voices are loud.
They can be.
Okay, what about harmony and sustainability?
This pillar emphasizes finding an ikigai that not only makes you happy,
Okay.
but also aligns with your values
Right.
and contributes to the well-being of others.
And the plan.
Yes, exactly.
So finding that balance where you
Okay.
feel fulfilled,
Yeah,
but also responsible to the world.
exactly. The next one, the joy of little things,
Okay.
echoes what we've been saying about
Yeah.
finding happiness in everyday life.
Right.
It's about cultivating gratitude
Okay.
for the simple things, like a delicious meal,
Yeah.
a beautiful sunset, a good conversation.
With someone you love.
These small things,
Yeah.
they can bring a lot of joy
Yeah.
and enrich our lives.
Shifting our focus
Yeah.
from what we lack
Mhm.
to what we already have.
Right.
And appreciating those small miracles
Yeah.
that happen every day.
All around us.
Okay, and finally, being in the here and now.
Yes, this one encourages us to be
Oh.
present in the moment, to
Right.
engage with our lives,
Okay.
rather than dwelling on the past.
Or worrying about the future.
Exactly. It's about finding joy
Okay.
and purpose in the present.
Like mindfulness.
Exactly.
Savoring each experience.
Yeah.
Each interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of letting life just pass us by.
Lost in our thoughts.
Mogi's 5 pillars.
Yeah,
They are all distinct,
they are.
but they work together
They do.
to create this like framework
Make a holistic
for
framework.
understanding and living your Ikigai.
You got it.
It's like they weave together
Mm-hmm.
to make this tapestry of meaning
Yeah.
and purpose.
A roadmap for living a fulfilling life.
A life aligned with our true selves.
Exactly. And this brings us back to
Yeah.
the importance of exploring all these
Mhm.
interpretations of Ikigai.
So the Venn diagram is a start,
A good place to begin.
but it's just the surface.
Just scratching it.
By looking deeper
Yeah.
into these other perspectives,
Mhm.
We get a much richer understanding.
Of what it really means to live with Ikigai.
So we have the Western model,
Yeah.
which focuses on that overlap,
Right.
where our passions and skills
Yeah.
align with the world's needs and what we can get paid for. And then we have these insights
Yes.
from Kamiya and Mogi,
Interesting folks.
emphasizing well-being,
Yeah.
small joys, sustainability, mindfulness, and living in the now.
Exactly.
And these approaches,
Yeah.
they aren't mutually exclusive.
Not at all.
They actually work together
You do.
to give us this multifaceted perspective
They complement each other.
on how to live a life
Yeah.
that's really in line with our Ikigai.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've explored the Venn diagram,
That we have.
and we dove deep into those other interpretations of Ikigai.
Yeah, with Kamiya and Mogi.
But now comes the question. I know you're all thinking,
Hit me with it.
how do we actually apply all this to our own lives?
Yeah, that's the big question.
It's great to talk about all these ideas,
It is.
but how do we find our own Ikigai?
Right.
How do we cultivate it,
Yeah.
make it a real part of our everyday lives?
It's like, okay, we
Yeah.
get it. Now what? Yeah, there's no like one size fits all answer.
Okay.
But there are definitely some practical steps
Okay, I like practical.
we can take to start living a more Ikigai-aligned life.
Like what?
Remember that Venn diagram exercise?
The one with the circles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we map out what we love, what the world needs.
What we're good at, what we can be paid for.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good visual
It is.
to see those key parts of our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But instead of just filling it in,
Yeah.
let's go further.
Okay, how?
What if we looked for connections, overlaps between those areas?
Like, what do you mean?
Maybe there's a hobby
Yeah.
you're passionate about
Okay.
that could help your community,
Okay.
or a cause you care about.
I see. Combining passions
Yeah,
with helping others.
exactly. Like, let's say you love baking.
Baking, yum.
You could volunteer at a soup kitchen
Oh, yeah?
or teach kids in your neighborhood how to bake.
That's a good one.
You'd be sharing your passion and helping people.
Doing good.
Exactly. Or maybe you're good at photography.
Oh.
You could help a nonprofit.
With photos.
Yeah. Or sell prints online
To raise money?
to raise money for a cause.
That's a great idea.
It's about getting creative
Yeah.
and finding those spots where your passions and skills can make a difference.
This reminds me of Mogi's 5 pillars.
Oh, yeah.
They give us some pretty practical guidance, too.
They do.
Starting small, releasing yourself,
Yeah.
harmony, sustainability, joy, and the little things.
Being present
These are all things we can actually do.
in our everyday lives.
It's a good reminder.
It is.
We don't need
Feeling to huge
life change.
overnight. No.
Right. Sometimes it's those small, consistent things,
Small steps.
those little shifts in perspective
Yeah.
that can really make a difference over time.
Exactly. Like, let's say
Okay.
you always wanted to write a book
Okay.
instead of being overwhelmed
Yeah, it's a big project.
by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mogi would say, just start small.
Okay.
Maybe write 1 page a day.
I could do 1 page.
There you go.
It's about breaking down those big goals
Yeah.
into bite-sized pieces.
Right. It makes it less scary.
So much less intimidating.
Exactly. And as you're doing that,
Writing our page a day.
yeah, remember releasing yourself?
Ah, yes. Letting go.
Letting go of those limiting beliefs
The ones that hold us back.
or expectations from other people.
Yeah, giving ourselves
To
permission
explore and experiment.
and to not judge
That
ourselves.
is the journey.
Silencing those inner critics
Yeah.
and those outside voices.
Telling us we're not good enough.
Ugh, we don't need those.
And you know what? As you're going through this self-discovery,
Yeah.
remember harmony and sustainability.
Finding that Ikigai that brings us joy,
Yeah.
but also like,
Aligns with our values.
yeah,
And helps others and the planet.
that sweet spot.
That feels meaningful
Yeah.
and sustainable for the long haul.
It's about realizing that our own well-being
Yeah.
is tied to the well-being of others.
And to the planet.
We're all connected.
Exactly. And don't forget
Yeah.
to enjoy those joys of little things.
Those tiny moments,
Those small moments of beauty.
connection, gratitude.
They can really feed your soul.
Yeah, and remind
Of all
us
the good stuff around us. They
Yeah.
could be enjoying a cup of tea.
in the sunshine
Yeah, listening to music.
or having a chat with a friend. It's about focusing on what we have
Yeah.
instead of what we don't.
Appreciating those little miracles.
That happen all the time.
And lastly, being in the here and now.
Being present.
Mindfulness.
It helps us really savor every moment without
Yeah.
getting caught up in worries.
At the past.
Or the future.
It's like hitting pause
Yeah.
on autopilot.
And really experiencing life
as it's happening.
You know, finding your Ikigai.
Yeah.
It's not about some finish line.
It's not a race.
No, it's about the journey.
It's about growing.
Self-discovery. Yeah. Throughout our lives.
Embracing the journey.
Yeah.
With all its ups and downs.
Yeah, life is messy.
It is.
But every step we take shapes us.
It does.
And brings us closer.
To that authentic life.
A life in line with who we really are.
And you know, your Ikigai might change over time.
Really?
What brings you joy now?
Yeah.
Might be different later.
That's okay, right?
It's totally okay.
It's not about finding the right answer.
Nope.
It's about staying curious.
Yeah.
Staying open.
Following what feels right.
Ikigai is not the destination.
Yeah.
It's like a compass.
It guides you.
It's about staying in tune with what lights you up.
What makes you feel alive?
Sometimes that means
stepping outside your comfort zone.
Trying new things.
Yeah.
Maybe even failing sometimes.
And learning from those failures.
So as we wrap up,
Yeah.
our deep dive into Ikigai,
A deep dive indeed.
I want to leave you with a question.
Okay, I like questions.
What's one small step
Just
you can take today
to get closer
to a life
that feels more like you.
more aligned with you?
Yeah, your passions, your values.
Maybe it's a new hobby.
Could be.
Maybe it's calling an old friend.
Or spending time in nature.
Or just being grateful.
For the good stuff.
It doesn't have to be big.
Start small.
And remember to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Celebrate the small wins.
Absolutely.
Your Ikigai is out there.
It is waiting.
Go explore, experiment,
Embrace the journey.
and find what makes you
You.